the right of first refusal. The situation is, however, different in the opposition parties as they ponder the best option for them. And so, on our discourse today, we shall review these developments as we'll be joined by Dr. Omar Ado. Dr. Omar Ado is a leading politician, the convener of the League of Northern Democrats, and the chief promoter of a political group seeking registration as a political party. That's the All Democratic Alliance, ADA. Before we meet with him, let's quickly run through some big stories for you today. The APC has held his zonal rallies across the country, across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and this is the last hurdle before their national convention that will hold this Saturday in Abuja.
All that stands for me to do is to say that we accept this honor done us by our leaders, you, our governors, and delegates.
All of our party faithfuls that have come from the entire Southwest, from Oyo State, Ekiti State, Ondo State, Osun State, Ogun State, and of course, Lagos State. We appreciate all of you. You have been extremely patient since 9 o'clock when you started accreditation. You have shown that you are indeed faithful, loyal party men and women.
The Vice Chairman consensus candidate of our party for Southeast Zone is no other than Dr. Ijoma Arodobu.
APC! I know that we have some naysayers who believe that the activities of our Congress will lead to an implosion. We have shamed those naysayers.
I want you to know that the party APC has treated us well. So under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the South-South is now recognized.
Politics, as we all know, is a game of interests. Let our interests be the interests of the South-South. Protection of the interests of the South-South.
Thank God that the South-South now speaks with one voice, and under the Renewed Hope initiative and the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President.
I also thank members of our party that have demonstrated that the APC remains the most structured and democratic party in Nigeria.
This is a party where commitment, contribution, and conviction, not chronology, defines relevance. Together we will continue to build a united, stronger, and more possible political platform.
We have had very successful world congresses, local government congresses, and state congresses. Today we are concluding with the zonal congress right here, right now. We have already agreed, as was agreed by the National Working Committee of the party, the method of this is going to be, we are retaining the people that we already have.
And from the APC, we take you to the ADC, African Democratic Congress. It has given top attention to security reforms, tax restructuring, and social welfare in its proposed manifesto, which was unveiled yesterday. The proposals are contained in the interim report by a 50-member policy and manifesto committee chaired by Chief John Odige Oyegun. The committee was commissioned for the tax by the leadership of the party last month. And so they have presented the report to the David Mack-led National Working Committee of the ADC at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja on Wednesday.
These engagements will ensure that policies we produce are grounded in the realities of Nigerians, the realities in which they live all across the sections, the spread of the entire nation. Thirdly, manifesto articulation. Following these consultations, we will translate the policy architecture into a clear, campaign-ready national manifesto that presents a credible contract, that will represent, of course, a credible contract between the African Democratic Congress and the people of this long-suffering nation.
It speaks to our determination to build a nation founded on justice, a nation founded on opportunity, a nation founded on tight security, and our shared prosperity. Let me commend your effort, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the amount of time you put in to produce this work, and within such a short time. Let me commend you also for the intellectual depth and patriotism and zeal with which you produce this result. You have laid a solid foundation upon which this party will present a clear and credible alternative to Nigerians.
And we end with the PDP, troubled PDP. Is the trouble coming to an end? Well, the Tamino Turaki group of the party has deepened reconciliation moves with that of the group led by Nyesom Wike.
We have confidence in our friends on the other side. Yes, we do. We've worked together before as members of the same single family. And we are conscious.
Apologies for the technical error in that sound. Tamino Turaki telling Nigerians that they are open, not just open, they are really in talks with the Wike group with a view to resolving their differences, settle it out of the Supreme Court, and pave the way for the party to field candidates for the 2027 general election. Anyway, let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll review all the developments, issues, and events leading up to the 2027 general election in the polity. Do stay with us.
The number one antidote to poverty is capital. Everywhere in the world, always and everywhere. Without capital, you will be in poverty. There is no country in the world that has overcome poverty that does not give priority to capital, starting with human capital. And I agree that it was good that we removed the subsidy that we did. But I'm also saying that you got to protect the people when things get out of hand. So what do you have for resilience? You know, what do you have to use to, you got to have something. Because what we have is a series of shocks. The most serious one is the energy shock, and I think Dangote talked about it. And you have to have energy. Every organism, whether it's a living organism or a non-living organism, needs some sort of energy if it is going to perform. And you take away the capacity to get that energy, it paralyzes an economy. And that's what is happening throughout the world. That's what is happening even in the United States. Energy shock is different from inflation shock, in a sense, although there's a pass-through, because inflation happens over a period of time. But you can have an energy shock just right away, and then the person can be very badly impacted by that shock. So how do we cushion ourselves from this energy shock? We're very happy that we have Dangote and his refinery. If we didn't have the refinery, it would have been almost catastrophic for us. I'm just encouraging all of us that the important thing that this war in Iran should be teaching us a lesson, that we should be prepared in case another thing worse than this comes. And even beside that, we should always be ready and be competitive, you know, for our own dignity and respect. You want to say you're from Nigeria wherever you go, and people say, oh, that place where they produce innocent car, where they produce nod, where they produce all these things. We want to be able to do that. And so we need to patronize made in Nigeria goods and stuff. And then that encourages people to do that more. The governments need to pay more attention to that. The governments should allow themselves to come to training, government officials. I know that they know a lot already, but they can learn some more too.
Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest is here, but fortunately, the outside broadcast we'll have is about to commence now. That's the Gather at 30 celebrations and National Conference on Building Momentum for Gender Equality in Nigeria. I'll hand you over to that live outside broadcast while this discourse continues online and in our other platform.
Intergenerationally, across ecosystems and across diverse communities. And so for me, it's a privilege not only to be, moderating this panel, but also to be able to engage instructively the experiences of the panelists who would be on this panel. So please permit me to first of all tell you that this panel is going to have a thought-provoking conversation that strings between, the comrades, the young netizens who are pushing the narrative of women's voices, the feminist work that is being done, and of course the ecosystem on what next for the women's movement in Nigeria. So I would first of all like to introduce to you one of my panelists. She already started the conversation here earlier, Ambassador Nkoyo Esutoyo. Please a round of applause as I welcome her. She's a senior Nigerian public policy and development. Then I left SDP and I'm promoting the registration of ADA. And we just left court now on the matter, and the court has fixed 13
That's
of April.
All Democratic Alliance.
All Democratic Alliance, yes. I believe very strongly that based on experience, that the registration of a political party and getting a strong candidate will be the way forward in defeating.
So why did you go to court?
Now, we went to court because we fulfill all the requirements of the law. And INEC wrote us telling us that we fulfill all the requirements of the law in September, only for them in October